was a
Hopefully
practice.
works. This is Lorena Mora-Mowry from Mujer Latina. Today we have the pleasure, I'm just fainting, but I'm happy to interview Umaro Djau. He's a CNN reporter, and we're here from the Freedom Center interviewing him and to talk about an article that really still we are talking about not only in the United States, in the world, and you reached to the Hispanic Latino community here in the tri-state. Tell us about your article about Africans, the slaves in Libya.
In Libya, that's
Tell me about that.
If Lorraine knows, and thank you for everybody that's following us at this point, Libya has become a big issue in Africa, and a long time ago, Africans knew a little bit about Libya because it was a troubled country as far as social issues, as far as the neighboring countries were concerned. But in 2011, as a lot of people know, there was a civil war and the Spring Revolution, or Green Revolution as a lot of people call it, which toppled Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. And after that, the country became really problematic. And nowadays, you have a lot of factions, militias, and people fighting against each other. And that has become a magnet for a lot of Africans, West Africans, and Central Africans, and Eastern Africans trying to migrate to Europe. So Libya is naturally the center for all of them because A, is unstable, and two, because the crossing from Libya across Europe through the Mediterranean is really short, is very short crossing time. And so Libya has become that place that everybody wants to go, those who want to cross into Europe. And that is the reason really why, which motivated me to write the article because, as you know, CNN last October uncovered this big story, talk about people being enslaved in Libya. So I am from West Africa, I'm African, and that's something that's really touching to me. And I was moved by the pictures, the stories, the videos, the shares on social media, which triggered me to think a little bit more. And then I asked myself, as an African, what can I do here at CNN to make a difference? So that really was what motivated me to write the opinion piece that you spoke about.
You know, today is a very important day, and it's important because today, 147 years ago, there was the declaration of, the end of slavery. So tell us about why it's important to participate today in this event in the Freedom Center.
Before I didn't know much about the Freedom Center. And then as I was reading about it, and then I was really surprised and amazed. And the first books that I read when I came to America, like 22 years ago, was by Frederick Douglass, and a lot of abolitionists at that time. It was amazing to me. And then when I knew about the Freedom Center, and then I knew that it represented something, it presented anti-slavery in America, in Ohio. So when I was asked to come to speak here, I was delighted to be here and be able to be part of all the panelists and people with great insight about slavery and the ways that we can fight slavery and actually lessen the impact of it.
In the presentation that I was able to see, you talk about what can we do?
What can we do? That is the biggest question because a lot of people are aware of things that are happening, and sometimes they may be moved and sometimes they may not be moved. And as I said in my presentation, sometimes the notion of distance becomes problematic because it's not happening in Ohio, it's not happening in America, it's happening elsewhere in Africa or elsewhere in Latin America, including Mexico, Brazil, and everywhere else. It's not in America, so it's not in my backyard.
It's far away.
So it's far away, it's not my backyard. So if it's not in my backyard, then really I don't have to worry about it. But for those people who are worried, those people who are motivated to do something, they can do something. Actually, there's several things they can do. Like a conference like this is exemplary of what people can do in order to bring awareness to people, not just to the communities, but also to the authorities. And the authorities are the ones who really get funding, the authorities are the ones who get laws, the authorities are the ones that can pick up the phone and make phone calls and actually make a difference.
You talk also about accountability?
Accountability. Yes, accountability is a big factor because A country can have a lot of laws, a lot of regulations, a lot of this and that, but as long as people are not accountable for their actions or for their inactions, that is a problem. So people have to feel that like they are responsible also, and therefore they have to do their parts to help resolve the issue as slavery.
But if you know about him, he told us, he gave us a homework. Go and read the article.
Go and read an article on CNN.com and watch the reporting by Nima Alberger. Nima Alberger is our correspondent. She's based in London, and she covers a lot of African stories. And she's the one who actually broke that story out of Libya. And it's amazing that she did.
What do you learn today that you didn't know about slavery?
I was surprised to learn that actually slavery, which include the human trafficking, is the second most profitable after drugs. And that is, for me, that's heartbreaking. There's a lot of people are living out of so much pain, and that is bad.
And you talk about the slavery is in different forms.
Yes. Oftentimes when we talk about slavery, we think about Amistad, the movie, we think about Africans that were shackled from 16th century all the way to beginning of end of 19th century, 1870, when formally slavery was abolished in America. So we think about those shackled people that were brought in boats across the Atlantic to America. But today slavery is abroad, is huge, is big.
It's a business.
It is a business. It does include a lot of other stuff that people may not know or may not be aware of as being slavery. But when someone is trafficked, when someone is forced to work in labor camps, or forced to work in agricultural areas of Miami, California, and elsewhere, or do prostitution in Las Vegas, in New York City, in Los Angeles, and other cities, all that, if you look at it, it may have a lot of shapes, a lot of shades, but at the end of the day, when someone else is involuntarily held against their will, is a perception, at least, of slavery.
Well, we wish you good luck. Please coming back to Cincinnati now that you know that it's a nice place to visit, and bring another article to share. And
thank you.
And thank you for giving us opportunity to interview you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.